In 1843, Charles Dickens came to Shrewsbury to recite his first public reading of the classic tale A Christmas Carol. In the spring of 1984, a film adaptation of the novel was made in the town of Shrewsbury, birthplace of Charles Darwin, starring George C. Scott and Edward Woodward. Here today we've been invited on an exclusive walking tour with Shrewsbury's town crier Martin Wood to find out more.
We're actually standing in Fish Street, but this was predominantly used for the exterior of Bob Cratchit's house. The building here, this was actually used as the exterior, but they actually added a little bit on, about the size of a telephone kiosk, which they put on the front of it. So David Warner, who was Bob Cratchit, had to stand inside this little tiny box. When the poulterer came and hammered on the door, because he had to make it as if he'd actually run from one end of the house to the other one, because he just had to open the door, and then in they went into the scene with the poulterer and the prize turkey.
Anonymous, you said?
That's what he said, an anonymous gentleman.
When the spirit of Christmas future appears to Scrooge, Scrooge asks him to show something of compassion. So as if by magic, then obviously they arrive here again outside the door of Bob Cratchit's, with the ghost of Christmas future standing at the top of the stairs. So what you're looking at the top there is St Julian's Church, which is one of the oldest churches in Shrewsbury, but it wasn't quite what they needed in the film. So by pure magic, they got rid of St Julian's Church and they replaced it with St Paul's Cathedral. Well, this is now it's the Parade Shopping Centre, and this was actually used as the exterior of the marketplace. So there were quite a few different sort of scenes that were done here. You'll see the one scene with the carol singers, and it's here again where the spirit of Christmas future brings Scrooge back in and points to the door and tells him to go in. And it's then that he goes in and he hears the two guys talking about this person that's just died. And of course he realises then that it's actually him that they're talking about.
Who else did he have? It'll likely be a very small funeral, supposing we volunteered and form a party.
Down on this side, this is where the kids had their slide, which was 12 foot of polythene sheeting, 9 gallons of fairy liquid, and that was just thrown onto the and the lads were just told to slide, and that's what they did. So they did it for hours and hours and hours.
Look.
They're having such fun.
This part all along here and towards the back, this was actually used in the opening sequence where you have the hearse going through at the very, very beginning, and the marketplace was actually underneath the market arches there. And again, this was somewhere where we had to do the one scene twice, because every morning, of course, you had your tea and coffee, which was nice, and you got them in little plastic cups. But in about 5 frames of the one scene, somebody got a plastic cup which they'd actually put in the snow. So it was a white cup in white snow up against a building, but in about 5 frames you can see this cup. So we had to do the whole thing all over again the following day. Right, well here we are. This is where Ebenezer Scrooge is buried. Truth be told, it was an old gravestone, but nobody knows who's actually sort of buried underneath it. So the directors and producers came in and they were able to get permission to put Ebenezer's name on the top of it. And so it was here at 2 o'clock in the morning that we filmed the graveyard scene. Yeah, I mean the people are great because we do Christmas carol tours every year now, and this is one of the things that we do is people come in. And we will always have people coming in on the tours who were actually in, one particular scene or something. So when we go and they say, oh, well, I did this scene, so I can say, right, well, you can tell everybody else then what you did, and I just sort of step back so they can relate what they did and their memories as well. Which is nice. And, and you meet someone in the street, oh, you remember when we did this bit, and remember when we did that bit. So it's still got people talking now every year, even though it's 35 years ago. It's still got people talking about it even to today.